I grew up in a hunting and fishing family. My dad taught me how to hunt and fish when I was a kid, and it's still a big part of who we are today. We love the outdoors. So when I got older and had my own family, I taught my son James how to hunt and fish. And now he's carrying on the tradition by teaching his son Trent, my grandson, 10-year-old Trent, a love for the outdoors as well.
You excited?
So here's the setup. It's a homemade box blind, kind of a shack, but it serves the purpose, on the edge of some real thick woods. There's a dike behind us, some water behind us. It's kind of an adventure getting in there, in fact. And for Trent, being just 10 years old, everything about this hunting trip is an adventure. Now, Trent has been hunting before, but as an observer, he's never been out with a weapon in his hand. This is his very first hunt, a deer hunt, along with his dad, my son James, and me behind the camera. Now, this is a good spot. It's a spot that the folks who lease this property like to save for kids and for new hunters, young hunters, because you traditionally see a lot of deer in there, a lot of does, but once in a while, a buck as well. It is baited, which is legal here in Michigan. It's baited with corn to keep the deer coming in so the kids can see deer when they come out hunting.
Are you looking for a buck or a doe, or don't you care?
I don't really care.
It's pretty exciting to go on your first deer hunt, isn't it?
Yeah.
At the point when we videotaped this show, Trent was not old enough to hunt with a gun in Michigan. So he's using a crossbow. The reason is he doesn't quite have the strength to pull back a compound to get enough energy behind that arrow to kill a whitetail. A lot of people think of a crossbow as a weapon for older hunters, but really becoming mainstream these days. All hunters can benefit from a crossbow, especially the younger hunters. Guys like Trent who don't quite have the strength yet to pull back a compound. They can pick up a crossbow and be very effective and efficient in the woods. So we've been sitting out there for a couple of hours. Trent's doing a pretty good job. He's getting a little fidgety, a little nervous, but he's doing a good job. At one point, I look over, Trent's eating an apple. Now, he's attacking this apple. I don't know if he's really that hungry or if he's just nervous, but he went at that apple. So we're in the blind. James, my son, is over Trent's shoulder. I'm off to the side behind the camera. I've also got a camera set up down low in front of us, kind of looking back at all of us to record the action from that angle as well. And I'm getting a little bit nervous because I'm thinking, this is an area that has seen an awful lot of whitetail traffic the past few weeks. We're off to a slow start here. If I ever wanted to see a deer in the woods, it was tonight with Trent behind the crossbow. I was so impressed with my son James and how he was talking to Trent, walking him through things, getting him ready for what hopefully was going to happen later in the evening. They looked at distances, yardages. They ranged different target yardages, talked about what was going to happen. James reminded him, okay, where to aim, to keep calm. I was very impressed. James did a great job getting Trent ready for this hunt. Okay, the sun's starting to go down. Everything is just about perfect. No deer yet. Then we hear some noise off in the woods. James gave a little grunt to try to get the deer's attention, and it worked.
There's deer. It's a buck, Trent. Trent, get up. Where is it, James? Right over here.
The buck came in looking for the source of that grunt. He wasn't interested in feeding, but he stood right behind a couple of trees. Now, James and Trent could see this animal. I couldn't. He was completely blocked. He stayed behind these trees for the longest time. Now, one thing I was not going to do, as badly as I wanted to document this first hunt of Trent's on tape, I was not going to jeopardize the hunt so I could get it on camera. So I had already decided in my mind, if that deer never walks out and he never gives me a shot, I'm not going to stop these guys from doing it. I was not going to hold out for a beautiful full frame of this deer so I could get it on camera and jeopardize Trent's first hunt. Finally, this buck takes a couple of more steps. Now I can see him only from the shoulders up, but I could see him. I asked the guys if they had a shot. They said yes. I said, go ahead. Do not wait for that animal to walk out anymore. If you've got a shot, take it. Trent was like a pro. He got that crossbow up there. He got his eye behind the scope. He got settled in. Everything was just right. When he was ready, he squeezed the trigger. Off the arrow goes, and it hits that buck. So I panned the camera over. I said, Trent, what do you think? Trent. 38 yards, the first animal ever in his sights, and he puts a good shot on him. That's as good as it gets.
That was awesome. Let me take this.
Good job.
So we get out of the blind. We walk over to where Trent hit the animal. There was a little bit of blood, but not much. I thought, oh, Lord, if we're ever going to recover an animal, please make it this one. And it wasn't an easy tracking job, but we found him.
Oh, blood right there.
Blood.
Blood.
Dude.
What's that? Look at
I'm glad it was dark up because I got to be honest, I had tears in my eyes. I have been fortunate to kill quite a few animals during my lifetime, and I have never been more excited or more happy or more proud about any animal, any hunt I have ever been on than being there and watching Trent shoot his first buck. Holy cow. Now we got to get him out of here. You going to gut him and drag him out?
No, I'm not gonna.
Trent did a heck of a job. That was 38 yards.
38 yards.
I ranged it for him. He held it perfect. And quartered away pretty hard. You can see that in the
Dang,
shot there. It's a little
blood.
bit further back on the entrance, but the exit's going to be right behind the shoulder. He did a heck of a job.
So we drag the buck back. We get it back in front of the truck, in front of the headlights. We set it all up. I said, Trent, what did you think of your very first hunt? You shot the first deer you ever had a chance. And his answer was just about what you'd expect from a 10-year-old boy.
It's been a good day today. I shot a deer and I got to stay home from school.
What a wonderful experience. Congratulations to Trent, of course, for shooting his first buck. Congratulations for his dad, James, for teaching him the ways of the woods and teaching him to hunt. And I was just glad to be a part of it. What a wonderful, wonderful experience. Yeah, pretty good deal.